This is the Geometron keyboard fabrication. Here I'm putting the camera in the camera rig. I start with a yellow paint pen, and I start with the actions that are going to be used to control the viewport. So this is going to be pan up, pan down, pan left, pan right, zoom in, and zoom out. These all get yellow symbols, which is arbitrary. But I'm experimenting with using different colors here. So you can see I've got filled in simple triangles that represent pan up, pan down, pan left, pan right, and then these two symbols are the substitute arrow keys for if the keyboard doesn't recognize the arrow keys for some reason, which happens in the browser from time to time. This is zoom out and zoom in. Sets of arrows pointed towards each other or away from each other. It's all supposed to be somewhat intuitive. These paint pens require a fair amount of vigorous pumping to get the paint to come out, and a lot of shaking. You have to be prepared for that when you use a paint pen. But they're better than Sharpies in the end. They're worth the effort. Now I'm painting on the movements. As opposed to moving the viewport, this moves the cursor around. So this is cursor forward, which is the letter A, cursor back, which is the letter S, going across ASDF. So that's forward, back, left, and right are A, S, D, and F. These are cursor movements. And then continuing across the keyboard, we have rotate to the left, rotate to the right, again rotating the cursor. Minus and plus are now not zoom of view, but zoom of cursor size. Now I switch to blue. So red was movements, blue is drawing actions. And I've got point, circle, line segment, arc, and hollow square. And then I go across on the top row. This is QWERTY keyboard, Q, W, E, R, T, Y, etc. And I start with the actions used to make a filled closed curve, and then I've got my cubic Bezier curves, which are used for all kinds of different types of curve, and then filled curves that are arcs, filled in circle, the W symbol, which means inputting a word, and then the filled square, and finally the shape that's the moving line segment. All this will be explained in other videos. Now I've got 4-fold symmetry, 5-fold symmetry, and then 6-fold symmetry. So that's 4-fold symmetry is 90 degrees, 5-fold is 72, 6-fold is 60 degrees. This is now I'm using white pen to denote the idea of angle and scale and symmetry. So then I have bisect angle, divide angle by 2, and then double angle, those are the first two there, and now I've got trisect angle, and then triple angle. And note, these are not operations that are allowed according to strict Euclidean constructions, but I don't care. We're doing this on a computer. There's lots of ways to trisect an angle if you abandon some of the laws of Euclid. So this is the square root of 2 scaling is the square inside a square. And then I have the golden triangle here, which is the golden ratio, square root of 5 plus 1 over 2, about 1.6. And then this is scaling by the square root of 3, very useful for making different kinds of figures with equilateral triangles. And then finally, factor of 2 scaling, factor of 3 scaling, and factor of 5 scaling. Everything on this video is at 2x speed, so you can get an idea of what real wall clock time is. So the video is both too long for a good YouTube video, but at the same time, gives you a realistic flavor of what it's like to actually make one of these keyboards. It takes a little bit of time, but not that much. It's less than half an hour. You can do it listening to music, in front of the TV, sitting in a park. Just make sure you put down some cardboard or newspapers because the paint pens are going to potentially make a mess. You could also use paint and a brush, or nail polish, or a Sharpie if you really have to, but if you want to use something you already have lying around, I'd probably go with masking tape and Sharpie, or stickers, and then you can use a pen if you just get some stickers. But this is the professional quality keyboard made from like a $10 keyboard off of Amazon. There it is. That's the keyboard that this is based on. It's a cheap USB key.